Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Shasti. Here we talk about beauty, entertainment, celebrities, books, movies, animes, TV shows, and kind of anything else that garners my attention this week. Before we get into the video, I do want to make a disclaimer that I don't hate femininity. I'm just going to say this here now before we even get into the meat and potato of this video. Even though I know there's going to be somebody in the comments saying I do anyways, I don't. As well as if you enjoy femininity content, continue watching them. I can't stop you from doing anything. I'm not trying to stop you from doing anything. I'm just a stranger on the internet sharing my opinion on something. So this is a topic I definitely wanted to talk about for a minute. Because I think around the rise of femininity, YouTube, cause I feel like I was still living on campus, so maybe 2017-ish, late 2016 is when I noticed a lot of femininity channels. And I would watch them a little bit because the content was very much so geared towards Black women, which I will get into that later. But the videos never really resonated with me, and I will explain that as well in this video. And I just feel like this is a very interesting topic to talk about, especially since I am 22. I feel like I say that all the time on my channel, my age. But I feel like my age plays a big role in a lot of my thoughts, a lot of my opinions. And with feminine YouTube, with that, I'm 22. I'm coming into myself as a woman. I'm figuring myself out, what type of person I want to be, and my femininity is a big part of that as well. So I just want to talk about how I see feminine YouTube from the space of someone who is finding themselves as a woman. I think it's fair to say that I am not the biggest fan of femininity YouTube. Where there are some things I agree with them, there's a lot of places which I fundamentally disagree. And just a lot of these feminine YouTube channels have a motive that is not really helping Black women get in tune with their femininity. I also want to make it clear that I believe femininity is less of an outer thing and more of an inner thing. I feel like if you have feminine energy, you have feminine energy, and it just exudes from you, and it doesn't really matter how you look or how you dress. If you are feminine, then it shines through everything else. It's an energy. I feel kind of hippie-ish for saying it's an energy, but yeah, I feel like when you meet a woman who's very feminine, it really doesn't matter what she's wearing. Because I've met women full beat, 30-inch weave, heels every day, and the energy I get from them is not feminine. The same way I can see a girl in a hoodie and t-shirt and be like, oh, she's very feminine. Just the energy I get off of that person. Another issue I have with feminine YouTube is they are very much so intent on selling a specific type of woman. There is one type of feminine woman, and I don't believe that's true. I believe there is no right way to be feminine. Therefore, there shouldn't be just one prototype, but they seem to just be pushing the same narrative of the specific type of woman, that this is what feminine is, which is not true. You don't have to fit a specific mold to in fact be feminine. I view a lot of the content as very shallow. It's really all about what you wear and kind of the right way to speak. Okay, speaking in a soft, sultry voice, that's feminine. And it's then how about women with who naturally have deeper voices? Can they automatically now not be considered feminine because they you know what I mean? I just feel if we're talking about femininity, again, because I believe femininity is an energy, it should be more so inner workings. What are you doing inside to kind of be more feminine? Thank you, son. You know what I mean? That's femininity. Not just well, if you dress a certain way. Because again, I've seen people dress super feminine, but their energy is not feminine. Have you ever met someone that's very rough and tumbly, very tomboyish, and they put on a dress and they still don't feel like a girly girl? Because again, they're not feeling it inside. So I view a lot of the content as just very divisive, that if you as a woman do not fit into a specific aesthetic, you cannot be feminine. And I feel it gets into a very, very slippery slope, as well as I've noticed a lot of their content, they have a woman as a what not to do, which again, that's also very divisive. You should be this type of woman, that's the type of woman that you don't want to be. And I'm just I feel if you need to bring down another woman to prove your point, you don't have a very valid point to begin with. They don't just use celebrity women as what not to do, but they take random everyday women. I've seen women be you use my picture without my consent, using just regular women as do you see how she looks? You see how she wears her hair? Do you see the wig she wears? Do you see the clothes she's wearing? That's not how to be feminine. And I'm just like, could you imagine just getting on YouTube and then you see someone using your pictures and then like dragging you like that? Like, do y'all? That's not weird. That's not weird to you, like at all. I don't know. It just feels really gross to me that like femininity should be about uplifting yourself, but a lot of the content is attacking other women. You know, it's bringing down other women. It's shaming other women, and I feel like that's not feminine. Being a hater, being bitter, and being mean to other women is the farthest thing from being feminine, in my opinion. A lot of the content is also extremely sexist, okay? Because I've noticed that the it feels like the mission of these femininity channels is to attract men. The whole purpose of becoming feminine is to get a, and there, let me check my notes here because I want to not misquote these women. I should have my glasses at this moment. High quality men. That's why you're getting in tune with your femininity to get a man. So you're completely changing who you are to get a man. Is that not weird to y'all? That like you weren't good enough to get a man before, but now that you follow these steps and tips to be feminine, you'll finally get a man. Like, that's not weird. That's not weird. Okay. To me, that's very weird. I feel like femininity should be for you. You should be getting more feminine, getting in touch with your femininity because that's something you want to do, not because you want to get a man. Because, and then it goes back to this idea that every single thing women do, it's for men. And I don't particularly like that, especially for like the younger girls who are stumbling upon this like content. Even people my age who like, you're still like trying to figure things out, because I'm still very impressionable. I'm not as impressionable as I was when I was 16 years old. You know, the brain cells, they firing off. But when it comes to stuff like this, like I want to listen to older women, because not all the time, because some of y'all a little dizzy, but I do want to hear from older women what they've experienced, and I want them to be my guides. What's supposed to be like big sisters to us, right? But like the big sisters are out here spewing bullshit. You know what I mean? And it's just like this type of content that's all for getting a man is very dangerous for young girls. Because again, being a woman, everything you do should not be for attracting a man. Because if you do everything to attract a man, you're not going to attract the right type of man. To me, it's just a very slippery slope. I feel like if the point is to help black women be more feminine, then it should be because you want them to be in touch with their femininity, not because, well, this is how you get a man. Because no, you don't have to be the most super feminine woman to get a man. That's like, come on. We all know that's not true. I'd also like to talk about that some of this content is just not inclusive, so that involves like trans women. Listen, I've seen some of these femininity YouTubers talk about trans women, and it's absolutely disgusting. It is gross and disgusting, and a lot of you are not going to heaven. Just the ways in which, when they're excluded from that type of content, they're 100% excluded. A lot of the women on the femininity side of YouTube are transphobic. And if you've seen any content in which they speak on trans women, and then it's gross and disgusting, and then you have their fans who like 100% agree with the transphobia, and it's just a bunch of no. Also, I feel like it excludes men who have very feminine energy. And I feel like femininity should be for anyone that wants it. So if a man wants to be more feminine, be in touch with femininity, he should be loud. But like, there's very, very rigid rules in femininity YouTube. Like, you can't be plus size. Being fat's not feminine, apparently. As well as I've seen like femininity YouTubers, one or two, say that like natural hair is not feminine. Okay, so I'm talking about any type of fur texture, locks, just having braids, not feminine. It's giving anti-black, but okay, sure, fine, I guess. As well as like women with like really short natural hair too. Like, there's very rigid rules in femininity, and it's just like, why? Like, they're pushing this narrative that there's only one type of feminine black woman, and that's completely false, and that's completely untrue. I just fundamentally have an issue with the fact that, like, black women are the only ones being targeted by femininity YouTube. Like, I really feel like this specific genre is supposed to be for black women, and that bothers me because it creates this idea that black women are not feminine. And I feel like after everything that we went through slavery and like the mammy caricature, which I do have a video on, if you want to check that out, I'll link that in my description on my video. About I go very much in depth in the mammy culture and the desexualization of black women and how that kind of plays a role into this as well. How like black women really want to be feminine, but it's like we naturally, that's the thing, I find that black women are the most feminine women when like, because I'm like, no one cares about their hair, their nails, their makeup, their appearance, shoes more than black women. Like, appearance means a lot to black women, and I'm like, black women are some of the biggest consumers of makeup. Black women, like, it's very odd to me that we would need this type of content where I feel like black women exude the most femininity out of any other race of women. Like, it's very strange to me that we need this content. I feel like it just pushes this idea that there's something innately not feminine about being a black woman, especially, you know, for darker skinned black women. Also, for to speak on black women femininity, we need to talk about the fact that femininity, much like colorism, is a white supremacist tool. Okay, the whole point of femininity is to exclude black women because the standard of femininity is white women. White women are the pinnacle of femininity, of fragility, being delicate, all of that. That is the standard is white women. And as long as you are a black woman, you will never really fit into that narrative. It doesn't matter. It truthfully, honestly doesn't matter what you do. To a lot of people, you are just a black body, and regardless of what you adorn it with, 30-inch weave, makeup, nails, pinks, and delicate clothing, to a lot of people, you're still just black. And you will always be aggressive. You will always be loud. Even though all those things are not true about you, you will always be black first and foremost. And I feel like I hate seeing black women trying to run themselves ragged to fit into a narrative that will always move the goalpost. It doesn't matter how feminine you can appear, they'll just keep pushing the goalpost further and further away to keep it so you don't get to achieve it. Pew Research Center did a study asking a group of women how feminine did they feel. And 47% of black women felt like they were very feminine, but only 27% of white women felt like they were very feminine at all. That's why, like, this whole, like, femininity YouTube is so funny to me, because most black women naturally view themselves as very feminine, while white women, the standard, don't feel feminine. And yet this content is being geared to and made for us. When again, I just don't, I really don't get it, because it's like, we spend so much time caring about our appearance, which is a very feminine trait. If we're going off of like a modern society and what being feminine is, black women are extremely into their femininity. All right, like things that are very traditionally feminine, most black women enjoy and participate in. Again, the amount of hair products I have laying around to do my hair, the amount of makeup I own and continue to buy, the amount of clothes, shoes, like getting our nails. Listen, black women really like nail art. Like, are you serious? So that's why it's just so strange to me that like we need to be taught to be feminine, when in actuality we are the standard. Every other race of women looks towards us. They dress like us. They get their hair done like us. They get their nails done like us. So why are we the ones being taught to be feminine when every other woman is looking towards us to follow the next trend? We set the trends. We, like, I don't understand why we need this type of content when it's like we are femininity. In the modern era, when you think of feminine women, and you might think of the white girls, but the white girls look like us. Get their lips done like us, get the bodies like us, and they dress like us, and they talk like us. They move just like us. Black women are innately so feminine, and that's why it really, I think that's why this content bothers me, is because it's really only made for black women, and we're the ones who don't need it. We're the ones that are so, because again, I went to school with majority black girls. And then when I got to college, that's when I was around white girls. And I'm just like, the black girls and the white girls do not move the same at all. Like, the black girls never left their dorms looking a mess. Even the girls that were like more athletic, or the girls who were like more tomboyish, they still look very put together in their own sense of style. But like, the white girls used to come to class looking crazy. Okay, unwashed hair, in that ratty little bun, just the way that white girls could move around and be so unpresentable, and it was perfectly fine. But the black girls, like, how our outfits picked up the night before, hair done, makeup done, nails, like, we really came to class like looking great, and yet we're teaching black girls to be feminine. Like, it blows my mind how white women have been able to navigate and be viewed as something they don't even view themselves as. Because again, until you lived on campus with white girls, like, you don't understand how gross and disgusting. Listen, a lot of nasty things happened in my dorm. I have stories to tell about the gross and nasty shit white girls were doing on campus. And I have none of those same stories to talk about black girls. Because our image and how we present ourselves to the world does matter. And again, it could very much so be it definitely is a product of slavery, of the mammy caricature, of us being so desexualized and our femininity being ripped away from us. So now we are probably overcompensating, and I think that's what these YouTube channels are. They're overcompensating, but also these YouTube channels are creating this narrative that black women are not feminine. Because if we were feminine, we wouldn't need the content. Like, because like, white femininity YouTube is not a big thing. Latina femininity YouTube is not a big thing. Asian women, femininity YouTube is not a big thing. But black femininity YouTube is a huge thing. There are so many content creators. There are so many videos. So many people talking about it. Only for us. That again, it creates this idea that black women are not feminine, and that's an absolute lie. That's what's throwing me. It's not true. Black women are very feminine. We don't need to be taught when everyone looks to us to follow us. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. How do you feel about black feminine YouTube? Do you think it's weird that like feminine YouTube is so geared towards black women, or do you think we need to be taught to be feminine? Do you yourself feel like you're feminine? Um, what is femininity to you? And yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.